Okay, we're live. Right on time.
For the first.
Yep, for the first time. All right. Oh, well, actually, I did add this to the Contractor Connection YouTube channel, so it's going to be posting there as well.
Nice.
Uh, Pretty exciting. So we'll be able to see. I did put in the thumbnail. If everybody noticed, it's our new Contractor Connection verified member badge, which is pretty awesome.
It's so
Um,
sexy.
Yeah, it is pretty tight. I made four of them, and we picked them out, and Lily helped me freaking like she kind of guided me on where and what to put, and yeah, and they ended up really nice. We kind of pieced them together. There was like ones that were like where it was on top and it was rainbowed, and then there was another one with like a different font, but we kept the same font, real simple, real elegant, just uh just good. But yeah, man, what's been going on with you since the last time we talked?
Well, we've still been rolling on doing some bids for some contractor connection projects. I
Right.
have a real estate closing tomorrow, which I'm super excited about. Really happy for my sellers and the people that are moving in. They're getting a really good house. So, really glad that's all working out well. Still have my listing out on Leander. That is an absolute masterpiece of a house. Really want to get that sold. And
Yeah.
then, we just been cranking away on Contractor Connection, just pouring in 60, 70, 80 hours a week on it. Everything from doing different things to promote the companies to down to patrolling the threads and suspending and banning some folks. So,
Yeah. They do not like that, but I mean, it helps our subscribing members to be able to get the first pull on those jobs.
well, I've already noticed
Some
on like when it comes to the MEPs, for example, it's almost exclusively at this point verified members that are commenting. Like, there's
Yeah,
very few suspensions I'm having to do there anymore. So that's really cool.
yeah,
Pretty
that is
excited about
cool.
it.
That is cool. So Saturday we've got the what do you the chili cook off. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Um,
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna be rad. It's gonna be rad. And then what else do we have coming up after that? We have the new Contract Connections Houston happy hour that's coming up.
Yep.
Um, and then we're gonna be setting up one in Amarillo. So that's gonna be here pretty quick. Man, I don't know if you saw in the news, but dude, I've been in Amarillo in the Texas Panhandle for a while now, since October, and last night was crazy. We were in the house and we could smell smoke, and I was like, "What's going on?" And just walked outside, and it literally looked like there was like a fire north of us, and I was like, "What the hell?" So we got in the truck and we just drove around, and I like kind of videoed the whole thing, and literally there was a giant fire happening in Fritch, like north of us. It's like 30, 45 minutes away, and the wind was blowing so hard from the north because you had like 65-mile-an-hour gusts of wind yesterday here, and then we had a brush fire that turned into just a giant wildfire. I mean, I'm talking like over a quarter of a million acres have been burned and singed and just ruined, like people's houses destroyed.
Mm.
We shared a post in the Amarillo Contract Connection earlier to try to rally some of the people out there to go and help. And I've seen a lot of people in the Texas Panhandle really come together. Like I'm talking about like where whole city's infrastructure is just gone, and then like the food truck people getting together and going and parking and giving out free food. You know, people giving out like free breakfast, free lunch to the first responders and like some of the volunteer firefighter people. Like there was just countless humanitarian efforts by contractors and just really just everyone coming together here in the Panhandle. It's been awesome. It's almost it's just as devastating as the tornado that happened in Perryton, but this literally spread across the Texas Panhandle. If you look at some of the videos, it's insane. It's absolutely insane, this type of damage that happened.
I hate to hear that. I always hate fires. There was a lot of those down here last year, and
Mhm.
I've been through a couple of hurricanes back when I lived in Victoria. None of that is any fun. The only positive I'll say about those is it is nice to watch communities come together,
Oh
um,
yeah.
and just completely drop, can I make money off of this? Can I, is this, am I able to do this? Am I going to help this person or that person? They completely drop all of those things and they just go to
Yeah.
help. They just go to serve. And that's what I love to see. Um, we've talked
Yeah.
about getting into some service projects for Contractor Connection itself. And that's one thing
Right.
that I'm really excited about doing.
Yeah. I mean, it was really like just the like so many people. I mean, from really small businesses, like 1 to 2 guy outfits, like medium-sized businesses loading up trailers. I mean, there was like so many shared posts last night about like, we've got an Airbnb and room, like where even some of the smaller towns are like opening up their auditoriums and municipal buildings to house some of the people, because there were a lot of evacuations. It was crazy. Like
Yeah.
I was up till about midnight working on that badge, and then freaking Adobe decided to crash on me, and I was like, no. So I'm like, I can smell burning, and then and it was just like, what's going on? And it was really crazy. Is even the school, like our kids' school, messaged us, put out a mass message, and was like, no current fires in the Amarillo area, but they're all north and the northeast of us, which is pretty crazy. And I think you guys got all that wind, right? Like it was super windy there
Yeah,
in
it's super
Austin.
windy here.
Yeah. Dude,
The
that came
wind a few
straight
days
from the
ago
Rockies.
ripped metal side of mine right off the screws. So that was
Oh
fun.
shoot. Man, the wind out here is no joke. I always forget about it, and then I'm constantly reminded. The other day I was downtown, and I like walked around a corner, and I was just getting sandblasted in the face. I was like, oh, the day before the fires happened. I think it was Monday. Monday it was real bad.
Yeah.
And Tuesday it was just it's from like gusts from hell. But man, I'm really looking forward to the chili cook-off. We've got some shirts that are going to be made. Um, we've
Got
got
the
those coming.
banner.
Yeah, we
Banners
got the
coming.
banner. Oh
Trophies came
yeah,
in today.
nice.
As you know, $500 for first prize,
Yep.
$250 for second prize. I think we're up to maybe 16 or 17 contestants in there.
They're still
Uh,
trickling in. I saw like maybe
there,
two more fill out like
if you
forms
want to be
today.
a vendor or if you want to cook some chili, there's still space for you. We have a lot of tables. It's a big space. There's going to be a lot of people there. So if you're still interested, if you're on the fence thinking about it, you put in $25, enter for the chili cook off, you could win $500. And it's
Yeah.
bring from home. You don't have to cook from there. I feel like we made that clear, but apparently there was one misunderstanding on that. But everybody's gonna bring it from home. We'll have the chili. They'll bring the chili there. They'll set up with their banners, whatever the marketing they want to hand out. If there is any marketing, we'll have the bowls,
Mm-hmm.
spoons, paper towels, and all that provided. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm going to eat a ton of chili. And we have free beer,
Yeah.
so
The
you can't
beer
say
is
no to
going to
free
be
beer.
awesome. Oh yeah, we'll definitely have a tip jar out there to help support the effort for
Tip jar,
our
yeah.
Forever's
We're
going to be
up
helping us with that.
to 400, I think, either at or close to 400 responses on Facebook. The Eventbrite is starting to pick up a lot. As you know, that's something we've started using to promote our events as well.
Oh yeah.
And from my understanding, that'll pick up the closer we get to it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we're getting, not selling because the tickets are free.
Mm-hmm.
But we're getting a lot more pickup. I posted in Pflugerville, Round Rock, Cedar Park, Georgetown, Liberty Hill, Manor, all the suburbs around in kind of the northern half, and just basically said, hey, come on out, check it out.
Yeah,
Because
it's
like we
definitely going to
talked
be
about
fun.
on the last podcast, we want to start getting as many potential customers and clients into these networking events as well.
Oh yeah, I mean when we invite the community, then they can go there and we can hang out. Somebody's going to be like, it's crazy. All these contractors. I've been wanting to build an addition or do build a
I've been
pool.
really wanting to update my bathroom. I
Yeah.
really wanted to get some new flooring in. Well, guess what? Talk to this person right here. Or guess what? This
Mm-hmm.
person does a fantastic job of those right there. And bam,
Heck yeah.
they're on their way.
Yeah. Other than other than the chili cook-off, what other events do you think that we should be rolling out here pretty quick? I know that we've got with the barbecue that's going to happen later on this year. We did talk about maybe possibly doing a job fair, which I think would be incredible.
I would love to do job fair. We'll do the barbecue cook off probably in early October this time and not
Mm-hmm.
late August.
Oh yeah.
And at a place that has TV so we can watch football while that's going on. I think we should set the job fair up for maybe May.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd also like to do a tacos and tequila event.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Spring
Um,
break.
yeah. Well, I don't know about spring break, bro. Like that's next, that's like in 2 weeks. But
Oh yeah, I forgot.
maybe around Fiesta time, we
Yeah.
can do. And Fiesta, I believe, in San Antonio is like mid-April, so we can do something similar here.
Yeah.
And that would be a lot of fun. So, and then I would like to start bringing those type of events to Houston as well. I
Oh
know
yeah.
the happy hours, we've had some really good turnout. I've been messaging a few of the people that we connected with that are going to come out and check that one out. We're going to actually be co-hosting this next one with, I think you met Lauren Neely. She's an agent in Houston. Her company, the Kelly Simon Properties, is going to co-host that with us. They'll be
Nice.
added on there pretty soon, and so that'll be a good way to bring in a lot more real estate agents, lenders, title people to the party. So
Heck yeah. I think in the Houston, well, something that'd be really cool is because I mean we're right by the source. Is like all the crawfish, like just the seafood,
dude, I didn't even
straight
think
from the
about that,
source.
but that would be, dude, a crawfish broil in Houston would be
Oh
pretty
man,
fantastic.
yeah, that would be awesome. Get some etouffee, some of that gumbo going. Dude, I love Cajun food. I just love
See,
it.
I like Cajun seafood, but man, I just have never been able to latch on to gumbo. But I'm not really a soup person, and I think that's also why I don't like menudo. Whereas I like pretty much everything else is Mexican food. I
Yeah.
can't eat menudo. And I love a lot of different Cajun food, but I don't like gumbo. So
One of my favorite Cajun, or I guess this might be French, but I think it's predominantly Cajun, is a boudin. Like the sausage with rice. Oh, dude, I freaking love that.
I feel like that's
There's
Cajun, but I don't have
I
any
think it is
authority. I
too.
need to bring in my boy D Martin, probably one of the best photographers in the entire Austin area. He's from Louisiana and
Nice.
could definitely educate us on that. So should ask him
There's a
about should ask him to help us with that.
Heck yeah. There's a place in Austin on South Lamar called Shoal Creek Saloon, and that place has amazing boudin. It's great. It's really good.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, they serve it with onions and mushrooms and some crackers, which I guess I mean just kind of falls apart. It's like it's in a casing, but then as you open it up, you get
I make a
this
mess with
rice.
everything that I eat, so
Oh yeah.
that is what it is. Something we did want to delve into a little bit. There was a post on it last night that I finally approved this afternoon because the gentleman that made it, he didn't respond to the message, and I felt like
Mhm.
it would be good to put out there, even though we talked about it a few times. And obviously we have the groups at various stages. So some, like Austin's more strict than Houston, and Houston's
Right.
more strict than the rest. But one of the things that's across all of the groups is no bashing. Now,
Mhm.
it's not because we want to protect shitty contractors or people who don't pay or anything like that. What we want is, before you go online and say, this person's terrible
Mhm.
and I hate them and don't ever use them, blah, 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 we want evidence to back that up. And once you
Right.
present that evidence, whether it's a verified member in Houston or Austin or anybody across all of our 21 locations, um, if the evidence backs it up, and generally there's text messages, right? Like
Right.
somebody stops responding, you can see that on there. So the evidence supports it, then you can go on there. We'll tell you, you can go on there, warn everybody. We'll permanently ban that person, their company from the group, and move forward with that. But we don't let people just run to, because there's been ex-girlfriends, there's been
Oh
jilted
yeah.
employees, there's been people who, for whatever reason, just they have their panties in the wad and they just want to go and flip out. And while we definitely want to warn of people who aren't being professional, people who don't pay, a lot of those things. We're not just going to have this unverified, for lack of a better term, bashing go on, you know?
Right. Yeah. One of the thing also, like, you got to remember is, you know, if somebody, you don't know people's, like, you don't know people, right? So like, so say like I was disgruntled and like someone did like this, you know, I didn't agree with how they did work, or, you know, something. It doesn't even matter like if it was really like they did bad. Just imagine if I write something and just you get somebody in a bad mood and then their retaliation. So they're like, and they choose violence. You know what I mean? Like, why would you put yourself in
Yeah.
that, like, you know, like, don't put yourself in this position to where someone can violently retaliate. I mean, you know, or say, for instance, like someone was in the middle of, you know, you post something, even about a customer, right? And you know, there could be a contractor says, "Hey, this customer is no good. Don't use them." And then they're in the middle of a negotiation to somebody to come and like fix the project or another project, and then another contractor sees that, like, you're literally interfering in their ability to, one, like, get their work done, and even if you're a contractor on the contractor side, two, like, you're gonna ruin their business. Like, you ruin people's businesses and you have to start back over, which I'm all for, like, you know, people being accountable for what they're accountable for. But the thing is that you have to understand that, you know, you don't want to put yourself in a situation where they could sue you for libel. You know, people could sue you for anything. They could sue you for $1 million
Exactly.
because you killed their dog. They don't have $1 million, and you don't have a dog, but you know they still could win by default. You know, it's
Yeah, you don't
people are
show up for the
crazy.
lawsuit, and they will literally win by default.
Oh yeah,
As a few people have had to find out the hard way.
oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely sucks whenever you're not able to defend yourself. And I mean, and so imagine like you block the guy, right? And we're the only, you know, the admins are the only ones that aren't allowed to be blocked. So this person's just like talking crap on you throughout this, you know, and you can't defend yourself, and then people just have to tell you about it. Like, dude, that's like one of the most. I'm like, whenever, you know, that's it's happened to me, you know, like someone said this, I'm like, I can't even read it. Like, what is going
Right.
on? You know, like you just, you know, you're like, oh my god, and then that causes so much stress, and
Well, and you
and
also
you
get
know,
into libel,
yeah,
slander, things like
yeah.
that, where you better make sure what you're saying is the truth,
Mhm.
because if they take you to court over that, you will lose. You
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
it's definitely hard to prove, but I mean, if really, like, if you're not able to defend yourself, I mean, because there's a protocol with contractors in the state of Texas, like, if I were to do work for you, and then I completely ignore you and never, ever, ever call you again, and then, like, you know, and you're like, "You gotta come here," like, I have to respond within so much time, and generally, that's all done within, like, your contracted for construction, which
yep.
is, you know, which is one thing that like we definitely want to have as a resource here coming up, is like giving proper construction contract creating, so that people will know how to properly protect themselves, protect their clients. That's also one of the reasons why we require insurance. Is you know, you have like these, it's almost like with an operating agreement too. Like you go into a gridlock where they don't agree with something. You know, you have like the change order phase where both parties have to agree. You know, like that's one of the reasons that, I mean, rule number 4 is there for a reason, to protect you as a consumer and protect the contractor, because like you said in your response to it, is there's two sides to every story. Of course, we're not like the end all see all. You know, there always has to be arbitration, but if you know, if you're saying, hey, Craig didn't build my porch, but then Craig shows us text messages where, you know, the homeowner like cussed him out and said, "Don't ever show up here." You know, that's like one of the main things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also, yeah, I see right here, like, you know, people. I like the idea of helping with guidance on contracts. Yeah, I mean, that's something that we could definitely help with. I think it's definitely something
Yes.
to
Yes. You and I
look at.
both. We've run businesses for. I mean, we're old now, Gabe, and we've been doing
Yeah,
this for a while. So like, we're pretty well versed with that. And we'd also love to still get somebody on the legal side that's similar to Rick Johnson, where he's,
yeah,
or Michael Soto in Houston, where they're the exclusive person for our group,
yeah.
and they can offer those kind of, they can offer those kind of things. But I think you and I can also come out with some pretty basic form contracts that people can use that will hold up in court,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and obviously we don't give legal advice. Neither one of us are professional lawyers, just to make that clear. I know in real estate I have to say that all the time. I'm not giving legal advice. I don't have the authority to give legal advice, but we can certainly give you contracts that we've used.
Mhm.
And that could be something else that we start offering to members.
Yeah, I mean, even a template, like, just like whenever I first started doing a government contract, right? Like I had to have like, like the SDS like booklet of like, standards and practices. And it was kind of weird, like, what do you do if someone gets ink in their eye? Like just all this really crazy stuff. It's like an employee handbook. I searched. People were wanting to like create them for me for as little as 600 and for as much as like $10,000,
Yeah.
and I was like, what? Um, and really honestly, what I did is I'm not saying to do this. Like I said, I went and found somebody's on the internet because it was free. I copy and pasted it and then went through every page and where that company's name was, I took their name out, I put mine in. Just a regular handbook. And
I
went
think
through it
there
and
is
I
a
was like,
couple of forms that we could probably get cleared though by a lawyer. Just get a lawyer to
yeah.
write up a couple of them just to be more secure with it.
Oh yeah.
And it wouldn't cost a ton of money. Like I said, maybe we get them to sponsor or do something along those lines. That would be really cool. But just something that adds legal protection and contracts. Just so everybody should understand, contracts are for everybody. They
They
protect
are.
everybody in the
Mhm.
situation, and they're incredibly important as you grow as a business, because you will run into people where contracts become incredibly necessary, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's what they're there for, and if you have a lawyer that oversees it and is giving you guidance on like, no, your verbiage needs to be this way, and that'll always help. Maybe we could that could be one of our happy hour events. We could like, brews with a lawyer, you know what I mean? Like where we just kind of have like
I like
someone
that
that
idea.
asks
And I know a
questions.
couple of good lawyers that I've worked with. And then there's another lawyer in San Antonio that I would love to honestly just take to lunch one day.
Oh
I've
yeah.
asked him a couple questions here and there, and the dude just like drops knowledge on me.
Hmm.
And I love people like that. As you know, Gabe, I like to be the dumbest person in the room. So,
Oh yeah,
which isn't
absolutely.
hard. I can pull that off pretty well. So,
Man, yeah, I know what you mean. I just want to whenever I'm around someone like that has just nothing but knowledge, I just kind of want to be a sponge, like keep telling me more stuff and then ask a question from a different perspective so you can see, what their point of view is. It's really good. And it also is good, like they just pointed out, um, it's good to have them for your subcontractors too. So like if you're an electrical contractor, if you're the subcontractor, you want to be guarded. So even as a subcontractor, whenever doing general construction, when a subcontractor is like, hey man, here's my subcontractor agreement, I'm like, oh fuck yeah, okay, cool, let's check this out. Because I mean, it's cool to know that they're trying to protect themselves, so I know that they mean business. So it gives me so much more confidence, and I could even I can only imagine, like as a consumer, if someone sends you over a contract and they go over it with you, not just like a blind contract and be like, hey dude, sign this and we'll come demo your pool, or whatever the hell, some Jeff shit, right? Like, so like, just come out here, we're gonna do it, sound right here, and it's like, you know what I mean, in crayon or whatever. But if you have something solid that says, look, we're gonna get it done in this amount of time, please a lot for this, there's things that are unforeseen. Like right now I have a project that we started in November and immediately there was a wall that was taken out. This wall was taken out and it was undocumented by the engineer. We had a time frame of 4 weeks. So when that in that time frame of 4 weeks, it's what time is it? It's about to be March. This has been going on since November. And we've already got a 304 on the electrical side, which is your temporary electrical. We've already got our rough-in inspection. We've had to go back and like move things around, like, and then also another thing is you have to deal with like the city of Austin and Austin Energy don't communicate sometimes, so like you because even I can even see the frustration as being on the general contractor side, me as a subcontractor, because I'm calling the general contractor like, hey, what's going on? Like, why, what's going on? And he's telling me the same thing. He's like, what the hell do you mean? You're freaking Austin Energy's not here, And I'm like, that has nothing to do with me, bro. Like, they're their own internal affairs.
Yeah,
They have their,
nobody in this world has control over when Austin Energy is going to show up. Like, I have never met an organization that just does whatever they want whenever they want in my entire life, like Austin Energy is. And I mean, I've had, everybody's had their fun with the city and permitting, but like, especially if you go down to the city, you can find some really reasonable people and work things out. And most of the inspectors too are really reasonable,
They'll give you good insight, but the fact is sometimes, man, they like, you got to remember, like, it's like the right hand doesn't speak to the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, because I had the same general contractor was like, Gabriel, you have to close out the spot location. And I had to tell him, look, man, I have no control over that.
You had to get that S.
What you can't. Yeah. I was like, what you have to do is once we have once it's worded on the permit and we get through a certain thing, or we upload an ESPA, or we have to, like, I had to go and amend the scope because whenever they tore down that wall, he had to go and apply for a brand new plan set because it was under an express permit. Well, when they tore down the wall, now they had to go back to plan review, which they did it really fast, and which I thought was really good. But the thing is that now I had to attach myself to a brand new permit, and I already purchased the original permit, so that permit's dead. I got to buy this new
wasted
permit.
Money.
And with that, like, we were both sitting there, like, he's like, when is the spot location gonna happen? I was like, dude, it usually happens instantaneously. Like, we've already attached ourselves to the permit. We've passed the 304 for the. I was like, I don't know. And he goes, well, let's figure this out. So I finally reach out to Austin Energy, and Austin Energy tells me we can't do this. And he'd been at the city. So he's like telling me the city's telling me that you have to call in for the spot locations. Like, I don't do that. That's not me. Austin Energy does it because it like happens after something's been tipped off. Well, then I call Austin Energy. I'm like, what's going on? They're like, oh yeah, you need to amend your stuff in the portal. So I go to the DSD, I fill out like to edit the scope of work, send it in there. They sent it to me yesterday, and now like we're on par with like going and talking to the spot location people. But it's like you're just running into red tape. Now imagine you're the homeowner and you don't know any of this is happening, and you're hearing the general contractor say, this guy's fucking up. And then the subcontractor is like, no, that guy's fucking up. And you're just like, man, you guys are just fucking up.
Y'all fucking up. But it's not even like that.
It's not.
Somebody here asked if it's possible to sue the city for delay of project. I highly doubt it. There is, in my mind, and I go back and talk about my business partner, old business partner, Scott, again, who is one of the smartest people I do. And he wanted to get something together to go and essentially just counterbalance the city, whether it was like a ballot initiative or some sort of contractors union or something like that. And I don't know about a contractors union, but at least to where we could all speak with one voice and maybe get some improvements in that, because you're absolutely right. Like, when sometimes the delays are, user error, people didn't meet, and they failed an inspection. That is what it is. It took a little bit of time, but sometimes it's just gratuitous. The city of the Austin Energy can cost you 4 to 6 months on a project. And if you're paying the financing on that project, if you're paying the money for that project, every day costs money. Right. When I've been on both sides of that, every day you hold a project costs you money. When you're flipping, it's hundreds of dollars. I'm sure on the commercial level, it's thousands of dollars. So you start talking about months, and you start talking about huge sums of money for everybody involved. And it gets really frustrating because not only is there inaction, but there's also apathy. You call up there and you try and express to them how important it is to get this done, either knowing or not knowing that you're like the 12th person to call them that day to say the same thing, and they don't really care. They're like, everybody needs it now. We'll get to it when they get to it. They just don't. That's how it is with them.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, it's hard to navigate that, especially, that's why, man, I know contractors that won't even do work in the city of Austin. They're like, we just stopped. It's like, what do you mean you just stopped? Like, we just don't anymore. It's like, oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like, and it's like really good, like even architects, engineers just won't work there. I actually had a call today from another electrical contractor. I can't remember their name, but they like called me up because I do AMOX for the city. And they were like, hey, we did this whole pull. We went through the whole process. We thought we'd gone through every portion, but we found out that we actually missed the grounding and bonding. So they're wanting us to do an AMOC for the like the bonding and the grounding. And the poor guy was like, I've been doing this for 35 years. I'm an electrical contractor. I've been building pools and doing pool electrical for like 35 years. And I'm like, damn. I mean, he's like, so I've got pictures, and I told him I didn't. I mean, at first I kind of felt bad, but I was like, hey man, your pictures don't show up on a fucking mega reading. Like we have to go there and expose all four corners and check continuity between your whole system, because you have to make sure that you're bonded. It's all bonding and grounding are separate. Bonding is making sure everything is interconnected, and grounding is whenever you have a grounding electrode going to the earth. Those are two separate things. So people are like, just throw a ground rod and attach it. You're not bonding it. You're not even really grounding it. You have to go to the first means of disconnect. So if you can't make sure that your rebar on all four corners are touching and there's a bad reading, dude, it's electrocution city. It's crazy. Like, I felt bad for this guy because they'd already shut the gunite. They'd already done all the coping. And he's like, what do I do? I said, you have to expose a little bit of it, man. I was like, you expose it. I'll come out there. I'll fill your AMOC out for you on your behalf. And then, I'll provide the engineer. I work with K&W Engineering, Amber Kurkowski. She'll come out. She'll do her deed. And then we'll get it, submitted to the city. It takes a minute. It definitely does, because it's a process. Dude, we did one for this house over on Beverly Hills and on St. Bonnell. Literally an incline. It's this awesome, like giant container pool. And we finished our inspection and our AMOC and all of our stuff, I think like 4 months ago, and we're still waiting for them to approve it. I think they approved it. We've already got it paid for, but now we're waiting for them. We're just waiting for them. Between inspectors vary. Just tell me where you want this, please.
My favorite, and Gabe and I actually experienced this together when we were both getting into the business. Gabe, I don't know if you remember that project on 11th Street, but we had the 3 different electrical inspectors.
Oh my God,
so the first electrical inspector comes out and he's like, I need y'all to fix this 6 things, which were in our scope, reasonable. Gabe's like, all right, cool. We knock it out. Gabe calls in the reinspect. Gabe, Scott, and I are all sitting there. It's like January. It was a cold January too. Yep. We're freezing. The inspector comes back out, and he goes and decides, even though that what he found wrong wasn't in our scope, that we had to go do that. So he had this whole brand new list that we had to turn around and change order for. And that was fun. And so if you remember, we called the third guy out there. I think his name was Eric. Yeah. And he actually went out there and was going to do that again. He was going to try and do the same thing, where he was going to be like, oh, y'all need to do this other set of things that nobody's talked about. And you actually started arguing code with him, which Scott and I were freaking out. We're like, oh, we're definitely getting failed now. And that actually worked. He was like, I love arguing code with contractors. Gabe knows what he's talking about. So we're going to go ahead and get this fixed up. I'll pass it for y'all. And it was like a miracle to get that thing done. I still remember that. But dude, it was, I get what I get what that guy is saying, is that like, you will get, if you get different inspectors for the same inspection, they might find different things. And like, I know this is a reinspect, but you need to do this also. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, honestly, it's if their wife and them got into a fight that morning, or if their husband and them or their partner and them got into a fight that morning, you're at the mercy of their mood. It's like, dude, come on, like, what is going on here? Like, I've had crazy like requirements, and it's sometimes it's easier just to do it, but sometimes I'll get pissed. I'm like, no, fucking show me. It's like, I've got a code book right here. Show me where it says that. And they're like, well, it says it. No, I need you to show me. If you can't give me a code reference, then I have no reason to believe you. You can't just give me your opinion. I can show you what my interpretation is, and I'll show you the code that I'm talking about. Dude, I had one inspector one time tell me, he hit me with Article 1012, and I was so mad, because that's just workmanship. That's literally, he's like, your workmanship looks like shit. I'm going to fail this. I was like, dude, get out of here. Get out of here. And then the same guy was at another job right after he left that. So I get this fail you know, and he's like, workmanship. I was like, what the fuck? I put everything back the way it was. Like, we just changed a panel. I put everything back. He's like, yeah, but it looks like you just did this car flex. I was like, no, I'm putting back existing electrical systems. I've got the pictures to show you. We can go there and touch it. I mean, you can see it. It's crazy. And then he goes to another house, and there's one ground rod drove, and then there's another ground rod drove, and the first inspector said, hey, the second ground rod acorn was not yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm hitting with a tape measure. Hell yeah. Joe's pissed. I was like, what the fuck? So
the comment section is live tonight.
I know, dude, but like okay, so on the second ground rod, it was loose. So it's cited in the deficiency, second ground rod acorn needs to be tightened. So I go over there and I tighten it. Then this dude leaves from that after failing me for an Article 110.12, and then shows up to the other one and says, fail, could not locate second ground rod. I was like, what? So pretty much he was saying that it was not in the ground. I was like, dude, you have to be a master electrician in order to be an inspector. Reach down there, because he found the first ground rod. I was like, grab that electrode and follow it to the second one. That's all you have to do. And he just didn't want to reach down and do it. He was just being lazy. And dude, I rose hell. I called at the time, I think it was Eric Zimmerman. Am I saying that right? Is it?
Yeah, it is Eric Zimmerman.
Yeah, it was Eric Zimmerman.
The dude in his office, his desk is 3 feet higher than the rest of the office and the chairs.
Oh, yeah.
So if you go and sit and talk to him, and you sit in one of those chairs, you're just looking up. I'm like, it just feels like such a jackass situation, you know, like he's just sitting over there like this little, it just reminds me of this like tiny little king on his little throne, but like he alone can decide your fate, you know, and like, so you gotta go be nice and like,
I can't remember who that was.
A little bit.
Yeah, if you show them like because I've even had like even other situations like on emergency rebuilds and shit, like I had a Polaris tap that I needed to where we had to like extend a circuit, and we needed a four tap, but only had a 3 tap, and I can't remember what I did, but they were like, no, that won't work, and I was like, no, like just let me install this, and then you'll see. And then they went and they're like, oh, okay, cool, because it's, you know, everything had to be bonded together, and we were extending it through the cable through the Polaris tap, and then I just cut the sheathing and then, you know, terminated it there, so it went through, and it wasn't like where we had to do a bunch of shit. But anyway, you disappeared. Oh yeah. Well, guys, it's been fun. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Dude,
are you blowing up? Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Well, I'm going to take this time to present a video. It is from the Contractor Connection House.
Good morning, everybody. I am here with Mr. Gabriel Spencer of Capital City Electric, also owner of Contractor Connection. We're here checking out the Contractor Connection project for electrical, and we'll let Gabe take it from here.
The whole thing.
You have to do like this is pretty much a new construction home.
We're watching a commercial right now, or what?
Yeah, it's for the Contractor Connection House. Balance light out here. Have a receptacle on the porch. Either side be fine. Dude, I need to hit the gym. What the hell, bro? Watching myself? What a fat ass. I mean, the studs all still look good. Looks like you guys did a good job of framing coming in. We're going to have to do some shipping here. I'll go ahead and if you guys want to see more of that video, you can see, if you guys want to see more of that video, we can see it on the YouTube channel, which I'm actually, we're streaming this on the YouTube channel. But yeah, dude, construction out here is cutthroat. This has probably been the most active I've seen. The most action I've seen in the comment section. Can you hear me? Are you audible? Say something, Travis. You're freaking me out, dude. You muted me. Say something though.
But you can hear me. I can't hear you. I don't know why.
I can hear you. I don't know. It said you muted me. Guys, my dog is a pain in the ass. He's a Doberman. He's getting huge, and he sheds, and there's little bitty tiny hairs. It's such a pain in the ass. I step on him. I get him as splinters in the bottom of my foot. The kids love him. I love him, but he's gross. He stinks. He's clumsy. He tries to eat my cat. We're back.
I can hear you now. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. My phone.
No,
7 o'clock at night just keeps going. It's awesome.
Yeah, I put mine on D&D.
Unfortunately, I tried to hook up my laptop to do it on there, but I can't get the video portion of that to work yet. So
you got to get you some of these guys or some earphones. Those things are really good. There's the Beats
but the audio
ones
worked fine. It was the video I couldn't get going.
It's probably you probably need to upgrade update the video card or something, like download a driver.
I'll bring it. Make it work. I'm gonna bring it to you whenever you get to Austin. See if you can help me get that set up. But yeah, back to crushing the city, because I could spend all night doing that.
Dude, we need to do something. You know what I would like to see? What we should probably do is like free. I don't know. We probably shouldn't do it. We should just let the city take care of it. But
yeah, I don't want to get involved with anything that they're doing. But what I would like to do is, like I said, maybe we're right now, our verified members are closing in on 300, and our group is 40,000. So maybe we can go to talk to them and set up some sort of discourse or discussion that we can have on ways that, and approach it in a way that, like, in ways that we can do better and y'all can do better, because if you go at it like, hey, we think you're fucking up and this is how we want you to fix it, we're not going to get anywhere with it. So if we come at them with a collaborative way, then maybe we can make a dent in how things work there.
I've heard like some buzzing around, like, I mean, I've just heard like they're trying to fix it from the inside, but really, just like the intake portal is so crazy to use. Like, I mean, even I had to do an intake for a job. There's a church that we're going to be building out on, like, it's like north. It's like right before Pflugerville, right? So we have this special permissions permit for 5 cubicles that are out there for a church. They don't have any power. They don't have any water. Nothing's been done to bring out utility. So we applied for a permit for temporary power, filled out the ESPA, sent it in, and then they send it back and they say, hey, you know what? There's no service on this address. I said, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, do they got a special buildings permit out here for like 5 cubicles that are put together? I was like, there's no way. So I went and I did the intake for Austin Energy. Super duper easy. Whenever you like try to fill out for a permit in the portal is great. But whenever you go to the DSD, like where you've got to go through like the intake and it's like these little prompts, almost like you're looking at a slideshow. That's garbage. Yeah, permit expediters. There's a couple of them. Like Jennifer Smith was really good. She's a lady that I used. I think it was like Austin, Texas Permits. I think she was really good.
We had a guy come out to our happy hour at Josh's place in January who was a permit expediter. We'd love to get a couple of verified of those on board.
Oh, dude,
because they can make a huge difference.
They're all, what's even crazier is like we have permit expediters that do it independently, but if you pay a shitload of money to the city, they'll hold your hand through the whole process, but you're still at the mercy of them being the ones to tell you what to do and how to do. Because whenever I've applied for commercial permits, I've applied for commercial building permits and for like residential, and the master comment report that comes back, dude, sometimes that is so incredibly daunting. Like they just send it back and then you send back your responses and then they don't respond to you. And then, someone in the desk next to them takes it over and then they're like, oh, well, I don't really know how he wants me to like phrase his responses. So they just sit on it. And dude, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But I mean, dude, if there's some expediters out there that want to take on that role, shit, well, dude, become a sponsor. we will literally just throw work at you because there's so many people that need that work. I mean, you know, same thing with like Rick. I'm pretty sure Rick is like got his workload crazy because he's trying to get everybody, you know, their insurance. Like me, I got to get my insurance right now with him because we've got to, you know, I'm paying extra for I just found out I'm paying for freaking next workman's comp whenever I'm paying for him. So like I'm double dipping in workman's comp. So I'm doubly protected. But I mean, you know, permit expediters would be awesome. That would definitely be something that we need. And I remember back in the day, whenever you could go to the city, there was like 8 people that would just hang out in the lobby.
Yep.
You know, and then I would be like, what do y'all do? They're like, we're permit expediters. And I was like, oh shit, that sounds fancy. But I just hung out there as much as I could too, so that I could kind of figure out the process.
But you know, it's crazy going down to the new city palace that they built over there by ACC. It's huge, and there's almost never anybody there. That old 505 Barton Square, Barton Creek building that they used to have everything at, they would pack that place. I remember going and sitting on that second floor for hours trying to get in and do a permit review and things like that.
Oh yeah.
You had to do it all manually, roll up in there with your plans and whatnot.
They had this special this special Batman phone to call 911 addressing. I always thought that was funny because in electrical, we have, like, if we're doing it at a new site, we have to get the 911 verification letter. And there was just one phone. And they're like, pick that phone up, and then it'll ring. And then the person that you answer, you tell them you need to get an address. And then you fucking hang up. And then somehow they give you like this email back that you get your address verification letter, which is crazy. But now there's actually, they do it online in the same, dude. Guys, if you're doing business in the city of Austin, go play around in your portal, your abc.austintexas.gov portal. That thing is awesome. Also here in Amarillo, we use the My Government permit or My Government online, which Round Rock has their own portal, which is pretty cool. I like theirs. But like cities like Taylor, Georgetown, even up here in Amarillo, Texas, like they use the My Government online. And it's actually pretty decent too. Like it's has
really
its own
simple
interface.
To use, honestly.
It's very simple. Theirs is like it's the most simple you can do. But in Austin's, there's so many extra shit you can do, like special events permits. You can do all kinds of stuff in there. Get a new address, change an address, like make it into an A and a B. Like you have to do it through the portal there, which is really cool. They've done a lot of time and yeah, dude. Don't talk about spray painting here. I just huff spray paint. That's it.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. It's code. It's code.
For sure. Inside jokes.
Yeah. Street jokes. Well, man, what'd you have for dinner?
I haven't eaten yet. We're about to. There's some pork chops downstairs, bone in.
Damn.
And some mashed potatoes that I'm fixing to go have. So, yeah, whenever you're ready to wrap it up, I'm about to go crush that.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, I had some baked pasta around 5. I'm trying to not eat so late, like you guys saw in that video. Your boy's getting chunky.
Well, yeah. I have no excuses. I want to crush those pork chops. But honestly, that's the first meal I've eaten today. So I'm trying to keep it under about 12 to 1,400 calories. And at some point, get some physical activity, and we'll see how that goes.
I've just been wrestling my dog.
Protein cookies and Big Red.
Nice. Dude, Big Red, I love a good cream soda. Like, I freaking love cream soda.
I used to love Big Red, but I can't have caffeine anymore.
It's anti-caffeine, or not anti-caffeine, but it's decaffeinated, isn't it? Like no.
Big Red and Sunkist both have caffeine in it.
Oh,
so
shit.
That was an easy way for me to stop drinking sodas. But I basically fast as long as I can, and then I'll take down a protein shake, and that'll last me another like 3 hours, and then I've got to eat, or I'll kill everybody and die. So.
Dude, I went to a place here in Amarillo last night to get
sweet tea's gross. All right, we're not getting into this right now.
I was actually gonna make. I was gonna.
Sweet tea is not okay. It's dirty water with sugar in it.
Listen, last night I went to this place called the Water Still that's up the street here in Amarillo, And it was kind of concierge service. It felt cool. Like, we brought in our gallons, 5 gallons. You put them on the thing. They refill them with like reverse osmosis water. They put them on a cart and they bring them out. You don't have to do a damn thing except for just open up the door, and they super expensive, but they have all of these giant like it's like a whole soda fountain of all these different types of teas. And they're like mint tea, coconut tea, pecan tea, strawberry tea, blueberry tea, and then they have the sweet and then the unsweet. And then they have like all these flavor shots. It was crazy. It felt like walking to an old-timey soda shop.
Yeah,
shoppy.
Except it's tea.
Soda shoppy. Yeah. So I love tea.
Oh.
You don't like just no tea at all? Like Earl Grey? Will you drink Earl Grey?
No. I don't
matcha?
like tea, unsweet tea, any of it. The smell of it is just horrible.
Yeah. I got kind of traumatized when I was a kid because my grandma used to make sun tea. You know, she'd just put tea bags and leave it in like a glass jar outside. And I don't know what it does, but I guess it makes you stronger. That's what she told me. But anyway, she brought it in. And if you leave tea in the fridge, or if you leave it out for too much, it turns into vinegar. And I remember she would just always put a shitload of sugar in it, but I poured it and it was cold. I was hot. You know, we lived in Abilene. So I just come in, I start chugging. And I was like, whoa, I just like threw up all of this vinegar. Because tea, if you leave it out for too long, turns to vinegar. Yeah. Travis Smith, I'm going to have a cooler of sweet tea when you come out in a few weeks. What about twisted tea? Will you drink twisted teas?
No.
Will you do Arnold Palmer's?
No.
No? So nothing tea?
I like water and tequila. That's what I like to drink, is
nice.
Water and tequila. And not at the same time either.
You don't like them mixed?
No. I'd rather either have the tequila straight or just a good old-fashioned margarita, but triple the tequila in the recipe.
Damn. Yeah. Well,
like, hey, remember the bartender?
Oh, God. She was just talking to you, poured it, and then a splash
of different shots in that first drink.
Heck yeah,
amazing.
dude.
She was like, I spilled a little bit. I'm sorry. Here, let me top it off for you.
Yeah, dude.
Like, this is perfect. You're my favorite
splash
since I live in Victoria. So
sweet and sour. Just a splash of sweet and sour.
That's all I need. Just a little splash. Maybe throw a lime in there if you want. I don't care.
Oh, dude, Iris loves Long Island iced teas. She loves it doesn't even have tea in it. It doesn't.
So I actually like Long Island iced teas. But my formula when I was single and I'd go to the bars is I'd get 1 Long Island iced tea to get started, a second Long Island iced tea to feel good, and then from then on I would just take shots for the rest of the night.
Dude, I was gross. I'm lactose intolerant, so I would drink White Russians and just like crop dust everybody at the bar.
I have so many questions that aren't for right now. But yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do well with the ladies. I wasn't I was just farting, just like talking to people. Just,
yeah.
Cool.
Makes it easy to pick up the ladies before, I would guess.
Oh man.
Probably not. Well, Gabe, it's been fun. We're closing in on an hour. If you're down, we'll go ahead and call it back. We'll do this again next week. 7:00 Wednesday night.
Yes, sir. I'm about to head to the shop. I'm about to head to the shop and finish printing those shirts. So
yep, I'm gonna eat dinner and then hop back on the computer and get to work. So,
alrighty, sounds good, man. Guys, y'all have a good night. Thanks for the
thank you, everybody.
combos.
Y'all take care.